Hi, my name is John, and I'm here to talk about why sales is everywhere. It's actually in every part of your life. It's a part of who you are every single day, whether you are a salesperson or not. So I'm John Payne. I'm with First Direct and also with HelloJohnPayne.com, and I'm just kind of chronicling how it is about my new sales career that I've had and some of the insights that it's given me as I look back over my life in the Air Force and just in general anyway, and some of the things that I'm really starting to understand on just a deeper level about sales and marketing in general. Now, one of the funny things that we've been going through in the training that I've had with Grant Cardone, and I've been listening to Sold or Be Sold, or Sell or Be Sold, and what's fantastic about it is it keeps driving home the point that you are learning sales in every part of your life. In fact, your children are some of the most relentless salespeople, and they are unashamed at getting their way when it comes to sales. And a lot of people think that the sales industry and salespeople are very shady, that they use manipulation tactics and all types of unscrupulous methods of actually selling things to people. And I want to impress upon you that a good salesperson is going to have a lot more emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and actually getting to serve the actual needs. It's not just about a paycheck, but it's actually making sure that the right product, the right service is making it to the market and actually improving people's lives. And sure, the commissions are great and people are out there just to get commissions. I mean, everybody has to make money in order to get somewhere. But I want to impress upon you that sales are everywhere. Sales are every part of your life. Whether we're having the political conversations that we're having right now on Facebook, we're either agreeing with a lot of the people who already agree with us to help us justify the reason why we believe things, or we're getting in heated arguments and justifying to them why we believe what we believe. Not necessarily that we just so strongly disagree with some people sometimes. And to get out of the political aspect of it, anytime someone comes to you with a sales opportunity, whether you're looking for something or not, they're trying to find, they're fishing for the people who are looking for their product. And sometimes, just like Steve Jobs said, he was building a product before people even knew that they wanted it because it could revolutionize the world. And guess what? It did. He had the vision of what it was before anyone else and before it ever came to fruition. He had to see that reality before it actually physically became a reality. One of the things that got me to understand just how much, whether you're a manager, whether you're in the military, whether you're in HR or any other department other than sales, you're still using sales and marketing every single day to sell yourself, to sell your ideas. Even if I was to come to you and say that this would be a good thing for you and you go, no, it's not. The moment that you say, no, it's not, and you give me the reasons, you're actually using sales. You don't trust me or the other person enough to say that yes it is, because you're so convinced that it's not, and you also have the reasons and the justification for why it's not, and you may be right, in actually going through the process of convincing somebody else that it's not the right thing for you. But that is a sales tactic, that is a marketing tactic. It is what it is. So when I wrote my resume to actually get out of the Air Force, the furthest thing from my mind was thinking that I was a salesperson. But as I'm applying to different sales positions, because I wanted to go into this role, and specifically I wanted to come into this role here at First Direct to help people understand how data can actually improve their business, improve their marketing efforts, and then give them a full spectrum marketing channel where we can be a puzzle piece that gets them where they want to go. Well, before I did that, I had to understand that there are times in my career, whether I was a leader, whether I was a trainer, whether I was providing value to people, if I ever wanted them as a student when I was an instructor to learn, I also had to sell them on the idea that what they were learning was important. Part of that was helped by that they were already there, they were already in that program, and that makes a lot of sense. But for people who've been there a long time and people who have bad attitudes, part of my leadership was being able to sell them on the idea of themselves being a consummate professional. Selling them on the idea that even though they already know, let's find something you don't know and improve. Because I know that if we can put them in a state where they are challenged, they're going to enjoy that experience more, and they're not going to feel like it's just the same old thing over and over again. So I had to sell them, my students, on the idea of being able to push themselves. I had to, there's different organizational things that came up, and the leadership, my leadership, wanted to push out certain things that had a grave impact in my mind from the people that I worked with, from those that worked on my team for me, and I wanted to protect them. And I didn't think that some of these ideas that leadership would push was a good idea for the overall, what we call crew force at the time. And in order for me to actually make an impact, I have to not just come up with an idea and just disagree. We always, at least the leadership team that I worked with, always came to the perspective of I can disagree, but I have to bring an alternative solution to it and give justification for those things. And the thing is sometimes I won those battles and sometimes I didn't. And that's okay. But the thing is I had to come up with the idea why I thought it was bad, but come up with a solution that was even better than the one that they had. And the times that it succeeded, I was ecstatic. But looking back as I was writing my resume to apply to different sales jobs, and specifically this one at First Direct, I started understanding just how powerful from the very beginning of my Air Force career to the very end of my Air Force career, there are so many different points in there where I was a consummate salesperson. It's just now I'm a professional in what I do. So sales actually has also given me a lot more compassion. It's actually developed my emotional intelligence even more because I understand that people oftentimes, it's not that they don't like me, it's not that they don't want what I have, it's they also have to convince themselves. And for me to be able to come in and understand them, ask people what they're grateful for, to get to the root cause of why they're actually believing that the way that they do. If they have an objection, honestly, it's going to be 2 or 3 objections before we understand the real one. And I have to be the one that has the social intelligence and the emotional intelligence to be able to have a comfortable conversation, to ask the right questions, to find what their pain point is, and be honest about how I can solve that for them. And if I can't solve that for them, being the type of person that they know, I'm going to go try to find how they can solve that problem, even if it's not with me. Because it's more beneficial for me as a salesperson to be able to work with people and find a solution for people, even if that solution is not something I can specifically provide. But if I can point them in the right direction, I can make sure that we are actually raising all ships. That's the emotional intelligence that I think that I've gained a lot more from understanding more about sales and studying this topic over the last few years in preparation for finding the right sales job that was out there. Again, many people come and they justify to you, even though in their own mind they're justifying it to themselves, why they believe what they believe. And in the moment, that's okay. It just takes a little bit of understanding and knowing that they're not against me, even if they treat me, even if they cuss me out, even if they yell at me on the phone because I just did a cold call, or maybe I just said something wrong that set them off, it's something that I didn't know. I take responsibility for that, and to re-engage them and to try to dig down and understand why it is. Maybe they've had a terrible experience with a previous salesperson who has given the industry a bad name, who has given this profession a bad name. It could also be that, honestly, their dog just died. They had a fight with their spouse. Whatever the case might be, I can't reach into that every single time. I can't know that every single time. But if I have the emotional intelligence and the confidence to be able to have that conversation and to connect with people, that's what makes a sales professional a professional. That's the emotional intelligence that comes along with it. Now, I'm not perfect by any stretch. I'm still learning a ton of information. But I did want to kind of throw that out there, that while I'm learning parts of this, no matter where you're at, you're also a salesperson. And I think if you can learn to embrace a part of that, not to say that you have to become a professional, not to say that you need to become, to go take a job as a salesperson, but if you can understand, like Grant Cardone talks about, that you have sales all through your life, that it impacts most parts of your life, I think if you can embrace that, you'll actually start gaining a lot more emotional intelligence to finding solutions for those that are around you. Your spouse, your family, your parents, your kids, your brothers, your sisters, extended cousins, people that you work with day in and day out. Not just the coworkers that you have, but the colleagues that you might be networking with as well. The friends that you go play sports with. Having that conflict resolution to actually make sure everyone comes out on the other side happy. or at least feeling like they gained something out of it. And even though they may not have gotten everything that they want, that they feel better as themselves, that when they came into that conversation or that conflict, they feel better leaving it. They feel more improved leaving it, even if they didn't get everything they wanted. That was a quick 10 minutes that I kind of want to talk about why sales is everywhere. It's everywhere in your life and why you should embrace it. It's how I'm embracing it, and a little bit of stories about how I've evolved in my process of thinking and why I'm becoming a sales professional. If you want to reach out, hellojohnpayne.com. We can just set up a quick call, or you can always call me, 402-403-0013. I'd love to start a conversation and just get to know you. All right, take care.